So what do you do in a new year? Clean out or organize. Stuff you probably already know, but it's still fun to talk about it. All the Chinese food deliveries that I get, I take the fortunes and I put them in this little toothpick holder thing, and I pick out one every year for my fortune for the year. And this year, my fortune said, "You are about to embark on a delightful journey." That was an excellent fortune. We are gonna do some lifestyle stuff. Not really so much cooking, but we're gonna talk about cooking stuff. Brief, interesting, New Year stuff. We also wanna thank you guys so much for the comments and emails. I got an email from a girl I grew up with called Margot Baylor. Your married name I've forgotten, but Margot Baylor lived next door to me on Martha's Vineyard. I forgot you were on the roof with Henry White during the rum incident. Forgot about that. I thought I was alone, but I had a witness. And then we get miraculous letters from complete strangers, okay? For instance, we got a Christmas card this year. I mean, first of all, the cutest Christmas card. It has this incredible handwritten letter. Look at the handwriting, first of all. The guy has beautiful handwriting. And they're from Scotland, and it's Russell, Andrew, Louise, and Robert, and Jack and Penny or Perry, I can't see. But they wrote us the most beautiful note about lockdown in Scotland and how Dinner Party Tonight was even amusing for a second during what was probably a pretty hideous lockdown in Scotland. So just so you guys know, everything we received, we appreciate it so, so deeply. Just want to point out they do have 2 Jack Russells. I'm not a fan of Marie Kondo. Spark joy is a nice catchphrase, I'll give her that. Organizing your books by color is absurd. But that's just one thing she does. She does a lot of stuff for people who are super, super disorganized, which is certainly valuable. The golden rule is, there's 2 rules. When in doubt, throw it out. So if you look at something in your kitchen, in your cabinet, anywhere, if you have any doubt, throw it out. Number 2, edit, edit, edit. What do I really need? My sister used to tell me, if you haven't worn it in 6 months, give it to somebody. You're not gonna wear it again. The other thing women do, I don't know if boys do this, sometimes you'll buy clothes and you'll say, oh, when I look this way, I'll wear this. Don't buy that thing. And don't have those things in your house. Just have the things that you're using and needing. But let's start with the baking area. It's 22. If you have the same baking soda and baking powder that you bought in 21, January, throw it out. If it's in a sealed container like this, you can possibly use it, but I'm telling you, it gets oxygenated and it loses its power. This you can put in your fridge and it might still absorb odors, but it's risky in your baking. Never use the Arm & Hammer in your refrigerator to bake. You just won't, it'll fail, whatever you're making. It's totally reacted with the air and it won't work. And check your baking powder. Look on the bottom, and if it's expired, this is one of the few things where the expiration date is valid. So check your baking powder. Replace your baking soda. I'm gonna put this one in the fridge. This might sound simple. Olive oil goes bad. I had a Thanksgiving prep day years ago where I cooked kind of half the stuff without tasting, which is a huge problem. And then I tasted it and the oil was rancid. Go to your large container, because hopefully you're buying gallons and not the little bottles that they charge you 3 times the amount for. Taste the gallon. Because what happened was the bottom of the gallon was rotten and I had poured it in the container without tasting it. So taste your olive oil. I also reorganized my cabinets, which is very exciting. I bought this raked thing. This is perhaps not the most fascinating thing in the world. It is raked so that I'm able to put more stuff on it as well as get to it. There's still this issue. This is better than, which is kind of how it was before. Think of your kitchen space and see what you can fit intelligently in. This is remedial stuff, okay? And also put the ones you use more in the front and throw the ones that you don't use out. Which brings me to presents that people like to give cooks. Salt with chipotles in it, salt with thyme, salt with this. And they usually come in these little beautiful decorative presents. It's a great present, but it's fussy and it takes up a lot of room. So what I do is I take all those little containers and I pour them into one big flavored salt. Trust me, it's okay. It has beautiful things in it, like peppers and pink salt and herbs, but all mixed together, it's just one lovely flavored salt. I would use this for finishing. I wouldn't put it in something in case there's a clash, but for finishing, like a pickle plate, get rid of those little things. You don't need those, which leads me to do not buy single-use kitchen gadgets. Herb strippers, things like that. Garlic keeper, don't buy that. All it does is take up space. Except, over Christmas I made Hasselback potatoes with my friend Brian's daughter, Sienna. Hasselback potatoes are hard to cut. We made them on the show. You have to put them in a spoon and the knife hits the spoon and you leave a little uncut piece on the bottom. It's not easy. Some genius invented a Hasselback potato cutter. I might say that was the only single-use item I would permit in my home. Now, to be brief, I bought some things to organize my cabinets. This did not look like this 2 weeks ago. These are, of course, my Spice House blends, impossible to keep organized until I got this fabulous thing, which has little slots and sockets. Oh, everything fell. But trust me, it really works. Now, this looks beautifully organized, but let me show you what this is. This was a present from Paul's longtime partner, Carrie Buster, who's one of my dear friends. She gave this to me for Christmas. It's 2 volumes, basically, 2 books, called the Akko Spice Library. You're like, oh, what could this be? So in each book, this is Ceylon cinnamon, okay, are these things that look like Nespressos. It's half a teaspoon, which is something that you would use, right? Kashmiri chili. These are not things I've bought in a store. So it's almost like a delightful journey. Good job, Carrie. Those are spices. Now, baking is a little more difficult. What I bought for here, it's totally up to you. All I'm saying is put the stuff you don't use in the back. Here we go. Can you see that? I put stuff that I don't use in the back, or extra vanilla. Please take a minute to check on Hyla Vanilla. They grow a lot of vanilla in Tonga. There was a terrible eruption there. So anyway, your vanilla beans, your leavener that you changed, extra vanilla. Same thing here. Now, this is all fruit essence for cheating on ice creams. Molasses, which I used 3 of this holiday because I made so many spice cakes, and my Lyle syrup. Things that you're not going to grab. This is grabby, this is less grabby, that's not grabby. Okay? So that's what I'm saying. Organize it like that. I mean, you know this. I don't have to tell you this. Use less, very rare. That's what I would say for your kitchen. And don't buy single-use items unless it is a Hasselback potato cutter, which makes an excellent birthday gift. Have you guys seen the Bounty commercial where the guy cleans his house with the waffle and the piece of raw chicken? It's so great. That's essentially what you're doing if you clean your house with a dirty dish towel, even if it seems clean to you. So what do? Well, paper towels are extremely indulgent, but they're fantastic for cleaning. For a very dirty counter, you can use or indulge in using one of those wipes. Now, Clorox makes a compostable wipe, which doesn't smell as caustic or any of that. You know, you can say it doesn't work as well. Well, it also is biodegradable, so it's kind of like this, right? Those things are for after you've prepared something that can be cross-contaminating. Don't use it every day, okay? Because you're supposed to rinse it after you use it, which a lot of people don't know. This looks like an ordinary glass drying cloth, which it is, right? It's by this one happens to be by a company called Siligli. I find that they wash very well in the washer. They also wash well in the sink. And they dry like you cannot believe. Wine glasses, like this, it's dry. I'll show you. So that's like, it's wet, right? Now, what would happen if you used a paper towel is you'd get fibers from the paper towel on it. I mean, this is pretty amazing, I think. That's pretty dry, right? And it doesn't retain smell. So when you clean it, they're just great. Anyway, buy them. They're awesome. Dishwashers, really quick. Your dishwasher, what's it called? What's the name of the device?
Dishwasher.
Right. It's not called a dish rinser. Don't wash your dishes, which incidentally takes between 20 and 40 gallons of water, and then put them in the dishwasher. Dishwasher, as you may have seen on television, takes something like 6 gallons and efficiently cleans your dishes 20 to 40 gallons at the sink for a dinner party. It's like a good handbag. It likes to be used. And that also flushes water through the tubes and everything. Be careful with overloading your dishwasher with suds. Now, I have one very old dishwasher and one pretty new dishwasher. The old one occasionally has to be serviced because it gets clogged with basically old soap. Until I learned to cut my special tabs, which come with the Miele, which is the brand name. Whatever tab, cut it in half, okay? Or use half the amount they say. Your dishes will get perfectly clean. And now a word about people who don't have dishwashers, which was me for many, 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 many years. Reggie hates 7th generation dishwashing liquid. Is that right, Reg?
I do.
Yeah. She says it doesn't work. So I'm going to be honest with you. The dish soap that really works is Dawn. It really is the best. Guess what? You can use a quarter of what they tell you to. Say you don't have a hood in your kitchen, which a lot of New York City apartments bizarrely don't have hoods. So say you make a nice dinner and everything in your house, the sofa, your jacket. Did you ever go in a greasy spoon and then your jacket stinks like that? So here's how you get rid of that. Baking soda, which you can also use to clean your counters. What you want to do is put like 1 to 10 baking soda. Make sure it's fully dissolved. I'm telling you, this really works. Now, if you put this in a spray bottle and just go on your pillows, if you spray it in the air, because it's water, you're going to get some water residue on the ground, and the pillows will be ever so slightly damp, depending on the sprayer you use. Guess what happens? No smell. So anyway, here it is. It's almost clear, right? It's fizzing because it's baking soda. You can use this to clean your counter. It will not leave a sandy residue because it's dissolved. It eliminates odors. It's extremely cheap. And if you have, for instance, a jacket or a sofa that reeks of fish or something that you cooked or ate or went into a restaurant, absolutely foolproof. So now that you have beautifully clean air, you can return to concepts of scenting the air. Let's talk about candle care, okay? If you are going to burn candles in your home, you have to have these 2 things. One of them is a wick trimmer. And this enables you to trim the wicks of your candles. If you allow the wicks to get this long, you're going to have a black smoky candle. I put in my wick trimmers like this, and I snip the candle. Make sure the little black pieces come out, because they'll go in your wax and make your wax have black flecks in it, which you don't want. The other thing you need is a candle snuffer. This one was a present, but the set in any store is maybe $5. And you want to snuff your candles. You don't want to do this. 2 things you're going to do. Blow wax all over your table, and also push the wax up one side of the candle, which doesn't cause tunneling, but it does destroy your candle. When you burn a scented candle, you should burn it until the entire surface of the candle is melted. So if you repeatedly snuff your candle before it's gone to the edge, you will create something called tunneling. Tunneling is when wax goes up the side of your candle holder and you end up burning this tiny thing in the center and wasting 1/3 of your scented candle. I had some pricey ass candles, okay, that were tunneling, and I was throwing them out with wax all the way up the side this thick. So I had the genius idea of typing in what to do about wax going up the side of your candle, and I discovered there's something that you can do. This is an example of a tunneled candle. Tunneled up the side here. This is a mild one because I forgot we were shooting this and I fixed all the candles in my home. What do you do? How do you fix it? This changed my life, okay? This is what you do. And when you try this tonight, you're gonna freak out. It's for candles and holders. First of all, never burn a candle in a glass thing on a cold surface like marble. Always put it on something. Prevents tunneling. You're gonna light your candle. Gonna let it burn for a few minutes. What happens now? Fashion one of these from a piece of tin foil. Make it like this around the top of your candle before you light it so you can make it properly. And in the center, create a small chimney so that you don't extinguish your candle. Looks a little bit like this. It's not pretty. Place this over your candle and wait about 10 minutes. Your tunnel will be gone. All you're doing is increasing the heat in the candle. So if you see a tunnel at your friend's house or on your candles, do this tonight. It'll save you hundreds of dollars in candles. You know what happened at Diaz and Durga? I went into Diaz and Durga and there was a lady there and she said, "Oh my God, I love your show. I'm here because you love Diaz and Durga." Diaz and Durga was like, "What show?" And it was a whole thing. It was at Christmas. It was so fabulous. Sarah is her name. Thank you so much for that beautiful day. And Diaz and Durga gave me some free things, which was really nice. Sir Trudon, interesting. I think you guys know from me that they have been around since Louis XVI. So when Sofia Coppola made her beautiful, underrated movie, Marie Antoinette, she chose to use only Sir Trudon so that the flames would be authentic. So for years, I've been looking for the Sir Trudon pillar candle, or taper, or whatever you want to call it. I couldn't find it. I was at Sir Trudon. I saw them in the back. So this is what they look like. This box has been used, obviously. They're called Bougie Royale, royal candles, and they're not expensive, okay? And look how, I don't know how to explain why that's beautiful. It's weirdly different. It has a luster. Now, they have many colors. They're $6 each. They last forever. 4 dinner parties. They burn slow. They don't drip. And the flame is crazy. Really beautiful. Be careful with air conditioning blowing on them because they will do that. A little secret thing I do, which is before a dinner party when the cloth is on, and this can be a plastic cloth, it doesn't matter, okay? When your cloth is on and your table is set, and if you have a room spray that you like that's not Febreze, or a little bit of your lightest perfume, go under the table and spray the wood under the table. I do this every time I have a dinner party. When they sit down, they move the cloth. A very faint smell, do it in the morning, will come from the table. It's very beautiful. If you have soft dining room chairs, you can do a little spray on the upholstery. So when they sit, the smell is kind of pushed out. Be careful with strength, though. That's all. Let's check our candle. Now, you see what I'm talking about? This took a little longer because we didn't wait for the wax to melt to the tunnel edge. If it melts to the tunnel edge and you put the cap on, it'll be done in 5 minutes. Hello, Chimbly of Wonder. This thing will change your scented candle life. Small pleasures, but come on now. Saving your scented candles, they're the beautiful part of walking in. The first thing people experience in your home is the smell. I always find it really interesting to watch perfume commercials because as a perfume nerd, that tells me what the company wants me to think about their perfume. Sometimes it's the opposite of what I think. The most famous one we've talked about before, to me, was my first perfume, which was Jean II, sensual, but not too far from innocence.
Come to find the beautiful fragrance of Jean II, sensual, but not too far from innocence.
The Chanel No. 5s were great at the beginning with Nicole Kidman. They went a little off the rails. The Julia Roberts Lancôme ones are pretty good where she opens the diamond curtain and goes into another dimension. I have to say the Paco Rabanne Millionaire or whatever it is, that is a great commercial. But as basically any woman who's ever watched television and perfume commercials will tell you, the greatest perfume commercial ever made, in my opinion, and many other women's, is the original J'adore Dior.
2084.
Ice is cold.
2093.
Mitts are dead.
Light years.
A pen is a pen.
You and me
Don't
gon'
pretend.
be getting down
Feel what's
on a
real.
space bed.
That's it.
We
J'adore.
gon' get married.
Dinner party
in June.
tonight.
Gonna be getting down on the moon.
That brings us to the end of my incessant pontification on cleaning and organizing your home, and little tips on how to fix your candles. My God, it'll change your life. And scenting your home, and just fun things to do for January, February, when it's cold and lonely. And you know what else you can do? Invite your friends over. It's not gonna kill you. Invite your friends over. What's the worst thing that can happen? You have a glass of wine. Nobody knows. And that's the best part. Nobody knows. So now that 21 is done, we certainly hope you have some fun in 2022. It's true. We do. Here's to tomorrow. One of your 365 chances to change your life.